cuts through all the stuff, goes to the core of the issue. When it's all said and done, lip service is over.
Come on, come on.
A whole lot of talk with no action.
Come on. That's right.
Is out the door.
Come on.
Either you are with me or not.
Come on.
When it's all said and done. This is where the rubber meets the road. Usually, this moment doesn't come when you got plenty money, good health, all you need to survive. But usually, you find out who your real friends are.
Oh, you're preaching, you're preaching, you're preaching, you're preaching.
When something in your life gets shaky,
That's right.
and you need support, you find out where your support comes from, and more often than not, where it does not, when it's all said and done. Focus for a moment. Fix your eyes on the man of the hour, Jesus. He usually comes to us packaged as the hero. He's healing somebody. He's delivering somebody. He's saving somebody from sin. But this time he comes a little different. He doesn't look the same. And certainly he doesn't act the same. There is in this text a transition, a movement very similar to the seasons. Something's going on here. Because Jesus, the great healer, is now a challenger. The hero is speaking directly to those who follow him.
Yeah. Yeah.
He is not patting them on the back.
Come on. Come on.
He is not thanking them for what they have done. He is not encouraging their spirits or pitying their groans or praying for their strength, but he's stepping to them face to face.
Come on.
He speaks to two different types of people in this message. And he delivers to us today some lessons for our life that we should never forget.
Come on.
Everybody that looks like a friend is not your friend. Everybody that talks the talk of I love you will not walk the walk when the chips are down.
That's right. Come on.
He delivers a message to us that he does not want us to forget in this season. Before he gets to the cross, he reminds us that there are some fake people in our lives who, with limited testing, will fall away, fall apart, walk out on you, and leave you standing by yourself. He reminds us here not only to pray, but to watch, as well as to pray. He reminds us that in our lives, there are some well-dressed sheep.
Come on, preacher. Come on, preacher.
Sheep's clothing on the outside, but a wolf on the inside. And the best time to know it is when you are standing upright, when you are strong, before you need them for anything or everything. But test them while it's going good, because a storm is coming after a while. And when it's all said and done, you're going to be able to see the wolves from the sheep. He sends us a message.
Preach, preacher.
It's not a quantitative message. You can't count it. You can't quantify it. But some of our best teaching is not just quantitative, but qualitative. Some of our best teaching comes in narrative lessons of life experiences of others.
Yes.
You can learn an awful lot from other people if you just shut your mouth and open your ears and listen to what they say. You can gain lessons from your life so you don't have to experience the same hardships that they have had. I will confess to you this morning, I have had some hardships in my life. I have let some folks get too close to me in my life that if I had it to do all over again, somebody ought to be talking to me right now. I do things. Look at this for a moment.
Good word, good word.
He's got a stranger and he's got friends. Both coming to him. Stranger comes to him and says, I will follow you wherever you go. Test number one. Foxes have holes and birds have nests, but Son of Man has nowhere to go. In other words, you're going to follow me wherever I go. I have nowhere to go. Will you follow me if I'm homeless? Will you follow me if I'm helpless? Will you follow me when my money is funny and my change is strange? Where you going to be there? I'm going to just stop for a moment and tell you something for a minute. It's mighty easy to find friends when everything is going good in your life. But just let things get shaky in your life and you will see. He speaks to a second group of people. Those are the group of people that are supposed to be his friends, his disciples. And he says to them, will you follow me? Right after they say, I got something else important to do. It is amazing in my life that when I really need folk, that's when they're working on the weekend. That's when they got other priorities. That's when they got an agenda of their own. But if you are really a friend, you will drop some things for somebody else, because in this life, it ain't all about you. I wish I had some help up in Liberty Break. There have been some times in my life where I needed somebody else to come to my rescue, where I needed somebody else to pray for me, where I poured out all I had to somebody else. But when you put your cup out, you find that it's absolutely empty. Is anybody else in my corner? When it's all said and done, you will see the weeds from the real grass. You will see the shag from the wheat. You will see the wolves from the sheep. When the real is revealed, you will see the folk that are with you versus the folk that are against you. And many times it's not somebody, when it's all said and done, I got a Savior that'll walk with me. I got a Savior that'll talk with me. I got a Savior that will strengthen me. And I got a Savior that's worthy to be praised right now. Put your hands together and give it. He speaks to them. As I take my leave, he speaks to them. He speaks to them because in this life, it's a whole lot easier to get in the stuff than it is to stay in the stuff.
That's right. That's right.
It's a whole lot easier to get married than to stay married. It's a whole lot easier to join the usher board than to stay on the usher board. It's a whole lot easier to join the church than to stay in the church. It's a whole lot easier to admire Jesus than to walk with Jesus, than to live according to his word, to do what he said. It's a whole lot easier to talk about it than to walk about it, and to live about it, and to be about it, and to stand about it, and to be for it. Give God the glory if I'm preaching right now. It's a whole lot easier. Tell somebody, it's a whole lot easier.
Whole lot. Talk about it. That's so easy.
Because between the launching and the landing, you're going to hit some storms. How many of you have ever had any storms in your life? Between the start and the finish, how many of you have ever been through hell and high water? But I'm going to ask you one more question. Between the start and the finish, how many of you know Jesus will stand with you? Y'all better talk to me.